Hunger is an issue that many families face every day. But one aspect that many people don't think about is school-age children and the impact hunger can have on their education. We are joined today by Principal Keri Sharp and school psychologist Sarah Darrow of Larchmont Elementary in the Toledo Public School District. They've developed an innovative program called Janie's Pantry to help students and their families while nurturing student success in the classroom. Welcome to the Boyk Brief.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've been pitched lots of ideas over the years about lots of organizations, but when I heard of your idea about helping schools and children in the Toledo Public School District, it blew me away, and I thought it was one of the best ideas that I had ever heard. Why don't you explain what is the history behind Janie's Pantry and what inspired it?
We had lots of students coming down to the office expressing that they were hungry or that they could not concentrate in school based on being hungry. Or we noticed a lot of behaviors could be solved by offering food. So Sarah and I spent a lot of time brainstorming all kinds of problems and answers and solutions to those problems in our school. So she and I spent some time discussing what we could do to eliminate that problem. We are very lucky that Toledo Public Schools offers free breakfast and lunch to our students, but when you don't have any food at home, breakfast and lunch is not enough. So we decided that if we could find a community partner that was passionate about what we also were looking for and believed in, that we would be able to offer some relief to those students and to those parents that are in need. So we began by brainstorming what we would need, how we would need to make this work, and then we started to brainstorm some people who we thought might be helpful. And so we presented our information to Mr. Boyk and his law office, and thankfully he agreed that it was a good solution to the problem, and so we went from there.
And I have with me Andrea Young, another attorney at the law office, and she is a graduate of your school.
That's
awesome.
Considered a graduate?
Yes.
Sixth grade graduate.
Absolutely.
So can you talk about what your population base is?
At this point, our school is 100% economically disadvantaged. All of our students qualify for free or reduced lunch, which is a big change from probably the time that Andrea was there, because the community has changed, as has the needs of the community. So for our students, we have a lot of students that are in need now and families that are in need. And often it's very difficult for families to ask for help or assistance, but we spend a lot of time with those kiddos and we find out a lot of information that maybe the families wouldn't want that to be shared out. But we have a trusting relationship because we watch their kiddos for a large portion of each day and teach their kiddos. So we find it that they have been more willing to ask us for help than they may if they had to pursue it in other ways, such as food banks or things of that nature. And we make it very convenient for the families to be able to ask for the help that they need.
So can you talk about how long it's been going on and how many people you've helped?
So Janie's Pantry opened in February of 2023, so we just hit the year mark. Out of the number of families we've helped, I know that just with the forms that have been filled out from the parents, it's upwards of 50 families. However, we also provide snacks for students throughout the day. I had 3 students come to my office today saying, we don't have a snack, it's snack time, can we go to the pantry? So throughout the day, throughout the week, several students, hundreds I would say of students are reaching out, asking for snacks, and some actually say, can I take some home too? So sometimes we'll just pack up a bag and they'll take it home. We've had parents also come into the building and just say, hey, can I come to the pantry to get some food?
So I've heard a little bit about it, but I've never seen the logistics of it in work, in practical work. How does it happen? Do kids just come in and say, I want food, and they get food, or?
We don't turn anyone away. We have a form that we've made very easy for the parents to fill out. They can do it on paper because some people are not on the internet, but we also have a Google form and a QR code and an email. So we've made it very accessible. So parents can fill out the form requesting a week's worth of dinners, and also hygiene products as well, and household cleaning items, because those are other things that are families can't necessarily afford. And then also we have, our teachers have the ability to reach out to us and say, this student doesn't bring snacks or doesn't have snacks. Can you pack snacks for them? So we send a week's worth of snacks for each student that the teacher requests it, as well as if any student asks or requests it, we give that to them as well. And we also have made sure that our snacks are healthy snacks, so that way we are meeting their nutritional goals and we're not just, adding more junk. So a lot of the kids really, really enjoy that as well, because a lot of the snacks are not things that they maybe have access to because they're a little more expensive than unhealthy snacks, unfortunately. So we've made that a priority of ours as well, to make sure we're offering healthy snacks and as well as dinners.
That's great. I assume there's some kind of science behind this of, providing healthy meals and food that helps with education and knowledge. Can you explain that?
Research is suggested that, to meet the students' basic needs, their food and living and their basic needs need to be met in order to be successful. So it's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And so that's kind of what we're focusing on, kind of getting down to some of the basics of, if these students are hungry, are they going to be able to focus? Are they going to be able to learn? Making sure that we're meeting that need and helping the parents also at home with that is crucial. And because we see such a high need, I mean, it's flourished. The pantry has flourished over the past year. And the teachers love it. The teachers are so thankful for it also. They've seen a change in their students too. The students, we have one class that comes down and picks their snacks for the week, and they're just so excited to come down to the pantry to be able to pick it. So we have like fruit cups and applesauce packs and things like that. And they're just very excited to be able to have that. And while some of their peers are having their snacks, some of those students are just sitting there because they don't have any. So being able to provide that is great.
I'm impressed by the fact that it's kindergarten through 8th grade, but my understanding is you have the 7th and 8th grade students actually participate and help stock the shelves?
Yes, so we have our 7th and 8th grade students, a handful of them, that are in charge of opening the boxes, stocking things away, taking inventory, making sure that we have enough of everything. If something needs to be restocked, they'll contact me and let me know, hey, we're out of this. And we also have them fulfilling the orders. So if a Google form is filled out from a parent or a family, I'll print that off and I will give it to the teacher, and the teacher will help organize the students to be able to set those up. And then they reach out to the family and have them pick up the pantry items. The kids love doing it, and they can, they feel like they're accomplishing something. Some of the students are also on IEPs, and that we're using that as a transition goal on their IEP. So it's essentially working, getting used to being able to, meet the demands of a job and the expectations and fulfill the pantry requests. So it's been great. I love it.
Very helpful too, because it's teaching them to follow directions. It's teaching them to listen. It's teaching them that although you may want to eat this snack, that's not what you're here for. The basic job skills that you're going to need as an adult. So we've been very proud of our kids and the skills that we're teaching them to educate the whole child, because that is our ultimate goal.
Is the pantry being funded by the tax dollars at all, or by Toledo Public School System?
No, our pantry is 100% funded by our community partner. Tax dollars fund what the district provides with regards to curriculum, with regards to the building itself, those sorts of things. But these are needs that are not being met by tax dollars. So that's why we went out to search for other means to meet those needs. The government does provide free and reduced lunches and breakfasts for students, but like we said, that does not mean throughout the day snacks and dinners and personal hygiene products, things of that nature. So that's why we looked for a community partner in order to assist us with that, because it is not something that's federally funded at this point.
How often are teachers having to come out of pocket to pay some of the expenses to help students with their needs? Is that something that's happening pretty often?
Yeah, so prior to Janie's Pantry, we would have the teachers purchasing large boxes of goldfish, drinks for the students, school supplies, and now they're able to get that from the pantry. So I've had several teachers come up to me and say, "Ooh, this is a burden off of me for having to pay for it out of my pocket." So it's been really great and positive for the teachers too.
Are these issues specific to the Larchmont Elementary area, or are there other areas in Toledo Public Schools that might have similar issues?
I would say at this point, all of the Toledo Public Schools have those issues. Some schools have more resources than ours with their community partners that they may or may not have. And some schools, the parents are more affluent than maybe in ours. But I would say that all of the Toledo Public Schools have a high need at this point. We have had quite a few schools reach out to us and ask how we've done this. We've had people come in and view our pantry and sent the paperwork to other principals in the building, how we got it started, and our forms that we use and things like that. So that way they can also try to replicate it as well. And I do know a lot of other principals that are currently looking for community partners to be able to assist them to start their own pantries, because while we do have state funding, it's never enough to be able to pay for, your curriculum and all of the other stuff. And that's what we're trying to concentrate, is to help fund with the other stuff.
My understanding is you're keeping various statistics and everything so you can basically be an example and show potential community sponsors that this is a fantastic program. Could you kind of explain what you're trying to accomplish and what data you're trying to have?
In terms of the pantry, yes, we are collecting how many students, how many parent requests are coming in. I will be honest, it is difficult because the student request, sometimes it goes to the nurse, sometimes it goes to me, sometimes it goes to my grad student. So we do try to document that, but sometimes it's just in the midst of the crazy day that is difficult to measure. But I mean, like I said, 3 today in my office, and I know my grad student had 4 or 5. So I mean, we're looking at least probably 10 a day are seeking out that.
We are very actively never turning a student away who says that they need something. So we have allowed everybody to have access if they ask us to the pantry. So therefore, the snack portion is a little more difficult, like she said, to be able to keep the statistics for. But when it comes to the forms and the parent requests, we do have those. And going into year 2, it's when we're finished with this school year, we plan to look at the data between the 2 years, see if it's increased with our promotion that we've done of it on our Facebook page and of making it more accessible to all people and all families. We've had families that have left our building and are at a different school still contact us and say, can we still get food from the pantry? So we've never turn away anyone that asks us. So we are keeping the data for that as well, but it does become a little bit more difficult throughout the day with the kids.
But the underlying goal obviously is to increase academic success and behavior success too. So meeting their basic need. This is almost going to have to be a little bit of a longitudinal study of where our students were achieving prior to the pantry, and each year are we seeing growth academically too, which obviously is our goal. And there's so many confounds that we can't rule out for academic growth, good teachers, parent support. But, is there a difference between prior to Janie's Pantry and after? So we'll be looking at that data too.
And I use our test score data to be able to look at that as well as a piece of that, which, like she said, there's so many pieces that are moving constantly, so it's hard to tell if it's just one specific thing, but we do rely upon that, and we have made progress from the year prior. That said, with COVID, our scores were a little lower than they were prior because of all of the outside things that were happening, so I can't pinpoint necessarily that it's the pantry, but moving up is a positive. So I will take it, and whether it's the pantry or whether it's more consistency and being in school daily or what it is, but our scores are trending higher. So we're excited to see after our state test this year and our district diagnostics to see if they are still increasing.
So I think it's brilliant that you two were pioneers at this idea and the data collection. Is one of the goals that eventually you can use the data to get additional community sponsors for potentially all the schools in the city of Toledo?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that would be a long-term goal for our district as well. But I have been asked to speak at principals' meetings about our pantry. I've shared out our information there. So I do know a lot of other principals who are looking to do that. The logistics are a little difficult to start, and it is a little overwhelming because our jobs ask a lot of us as it is. So it's adding more work. So it is kind of just figuring out how to do it and how to do it well, and then presenting that to others and making it more accessible, which we've made changes between year 1 and year 2, and we've made it so much better already from our first year when it was us grinding it out every day. And then we're like, oh, we need some more help. So we've, been figuring it out as we go. And so my goal is as soon as we are done with this school year and we're able to see the growth that we've made between year 1 and year 2, that I'm able to make it more accessible even for other principals to be able to pick it up and do so with a community partner. And I think that's the most difficult part, is that a lot of principals don't know where to start looking for a community partner. And it's difficult to ask people to help you, even as a school, because, you don't want to make anyone look bad or, to beg for funding or things like that. So it is difficult and humbling to be able to ask. But that said, I do know that there are a lot of other companies and in our area that have the means and would love to be able to help. So it's a matter of connecting those two things. So I'm grateful for you guys who have helped us in the past with giving us, like, hey, can you give us some more names of schools that are interested, so we can get it going more and more and making it accessible. I think that's the biggest part, making it accessible and easier.
So a lot of nonprofits, people look at them and they say, wow, it's like 40 or 50% is going to administrative costs. 100% of the funds are going to help children. And if you can have data with accurate results, it would be hard for any business to turn that down.
Absolutely. There's no overhead fee for us. All of the funding that we receive, we use and goes straight to the children or to their families. But we're grateful for it because while, like I said, none of it goes to us, it does go to us because we get to see our children thriving and having their basic needs met. So, for us, that is success as well as our test scores rising and students learning more. Those are our wins. So it's great to be able to do that with the help of you guys.
What do you need for continued success with the pantry and with the school and with your students?
I would say, continuing to keep the data to see if we have enough funding. We have, presented when we were in need for more things, and we've asked and worked together and been able to secure that. So it's just a matter of communication, I think, with your partner that you have and, communicating the need. We also provide clothing for our kids if necessary, and that is something that we haven't used our community partner for, but we've just used our families because a lot of families outgrow clothing and then we have them donate them to us. So our parent organization in our building has taken that on with helping us get donations, folding, sorting, and then when parents request food from the pantry, they also have the option to come in and shop for clothing for their families as well. Not just the kids, but adults as well, because we're just trying to make it easier for those families to have their basic needs met, and we're trying to kind of make it a one-stop shop for all of the needs.
You said that adult clothing is wanted and given as well.
Absolutely. Yep. We take adult clothing as well as student clothing. When we need a specific size or things like that, we will ask on our Facebook page for, those sorts of things. But we're always willing to take gently used clothing, and then we stockpile it and fold it, and then families come in and choose what fits them or they can use for themselves and their family.
That's good to know. Do you ever need work attire, or?
I'm sure families would love that. Absolutely. And I know that it sounds kind of silly, but one of the biggest needs that families have is undergarments, which is not necessarily something that you would think about, but that's something that kids go through very quickly. And so that is something that we've asked, obviously not used, but we've asked for donations from the community as well for young children's underwear and young ladies' intimates and things like that, so that way that they are able to have those things as well as they grow.
If somebody listening to this wanted to help you out, how would they go about doing that?
they can contact Larchmont at 419-671.
3650. And we also have an email.
Yes.
Janie's Pantry Larchmont at gmail.com. So if anybody, wanted to communicate with us, they could email there. But if they had a donation, they could always call the school and we would take those things. We also take donations of school supplies as well, because I'm sure you guys know, but we go through those things very quickly. So we always,
too.
backpacks, pens, pencils, paper, those sorts of things. Glue sticks. So as we go through those things, it's hard sometimes for families to replenish those supplies. So we take those supplies as well.
So I'm just so impressed that you two are so proactive. And
Thank you.
that's just very impressive. And just sitting there and doing nothing, you thought outside of the box, and it's super, super impressive. What do you think long-term goals, or what else haven't we asked you that you think people should know about?
I would say long-term goals, I would like to see something similar in all of the school buildings, because I know that it's not just our building. And there are a lot of elementary schools in our area and TPS elementary schools and high schools that could use the same things. So I think it would be, our long-term goal would be sharing our successes with other buildings and securing those things for their buildings and the connections, helping them to meet those connections, as well as maintaining what we currently have, but also improving our processes, reaching out and getting more families. We try to make it as accessible as possible, but also we make it anonymous as well, because we don't want families to ever feel insecure about asking. So while we know who the families are, the students who package the meals for them do not. Or if we have parents come and assist, the parents do not. So that way, no one has to feel inferior or feel, that their pride is being taken from them. So we want to continue to get the word out, to let other families know we are available and we're here and we have these things, and to have families who need it take advantage of it.
That was the number one thing I was thinking of, is making sure it's accessible to more people. So we've taken steps to make sure we're sending home letters on open house night. The teachers talked about it to all the parents that came.
We had it open to tour.
I have it on, we put it on Facebook at least once a month, because I know there's families we're not reaching that are unaware of it, that need it. So just continuing to make it known. And accessible. So, a really nice thing is that the students can take home the stuff, so the parents don't have to come pick it up. So just making sure it's accessible to everyone.
And you said Facebook. Do you have other social media that you're
We
sharing
don't. We
on?
currently use Larchmont Lions Facebook page. So if you search Larchmont Lions, it is our Facebook page. We do have an app that we use, but that's mostly for communication outwards, not inwards, whereas Facebook, we can receive messages on there as well.
And it's okay to share that?
Absolutely.
Share your page?
Yep.
Thank you for coming in today. We appreciate you telling your story, and we're proud to be involved with your brilliant idea.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you more than you will ever know,
Yes.
and we love our partnership, and we hope to continue into the future. So thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.